Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If you are new, I guess you have clicked this video because of its title. I must say that it's quite weird to make a video that is titled like this, but this is the life I'm living in the past 3+ weeks. So let's just start from the top. So I live in Israel, and as we speak, we are at war, if you haven't noticed from the title of this video. And I just want to share a little bit about the situation in general and about like how am I dealing with all this. So you can hear the airplanes. Currently I'm at my house, at my apartment, but I just came here to film because I don't stay here most of the days. My fiance is not home. He was called to the IDF, to the army, and so I am very scared to sleep alone again with the airplanes. They said I live here with my fiance, but he's not home. He is in the army, so as for now I stay with my parents. So while I'm living with my parents and my siblings, I only took like clothes and a charger and like the basic stuff, and I have all my filming equipment, all my makeup here at my apartment, so I don't get to film videos and I don't get to wear makeup and I don't get to put any skincare on. So this is me being a little bit normal for a couple of hours. And I am going to talk about what happened on October 7th, and I am going to talk about this general problem. And if you have something you want to say, and if you have something you want to comment respectfully and knowledgeably, then you are more than welcome to do that. But if all you have to say is to curse me, or to say I'm stupid, or to say I'm a stupid Zionist, or something like that, then don't even bother to comment, because these comments mean nothing to me. So if you have something insightful to comment, then you are welcome to do that. So let's start on October 7th, and just I want you to understand the situation between Israel and Gaza generally, okay, not at war. So Gaza is the strip of land that once was in control of the Egyptians and once was in control of Jordan, and for a little while was in control of Israel, but now it is in control of Hamas basically. And we are completely separate entities. We don't have Israeli army in Gaza, we don't have Israeli law in Gaza. So after they wanted their own piece of land, after we offered them as Zionists, we offered them a lot more than that, 5 times, and they didn't want any of it. They did got this part of Gaza, and since 2005, which has been 17 years since, Israel have nothing to do with military or law or anything about that in Gaza. It's almost functioning like 2 completely different and separated states, except that because the people in Gaza are very, very poor, because most of the money is going to the heads of Hamas, then they don't have any money to do anything on their own. They don't produce their own electricity, they don't have their own agriculture, they don't make their own foods. Then Israel is giving them food and water and electricity just because they are very, very poor, and the money that you donate to Gaza is not going to the civilians and the citizens. If the money would have gone to them, then I guess they would grow food on their own, they would produce electricity on their own, and it's just not happening there. So imagine a completely 2 separate states like the United States and Mexico. Does the United States oblige to give Mexico electricity or food or water? I don't think so. So just understand the situation where Israel is a state of its own and Gaza is a piece of land on its own where the Hamas is in control, and Israel is giving to Gaza normally food and water and electricity because they don't have enough money, while the government of Gaza, or however you want to call it, is the Hamas, which is a terror organization that cares nothing about the citizens in Gaza. After we cleared that up, then we can continue to October 7th. And by the way, if you do have some kind of a proof that Hamas is taking care of the citizens in Gaza and providing them food, water, electricity, anything good for them, then I want to see evidence for that. Okay, so after I had an alarm going, I just stopped filming, obviously. So now let's go back to October 7th. Okay, so on October 7th, thousands of Hamas terrorists invaded to Israel and went into the Israeli villages and the military bases that are really, really close to Gaza, and in the most inhumane way, slaughtered, shot, burned, raped anyone and anything they could put their hands on. They also murdered and kidnapped foreign workers from Thailand, for example. They also murdered Israeli Arabs and Bedouins who are Muslims that live in Israel. As I said, anyone and anything they could put their hands on. And really non-related thing, this looks a little bit ridiculous, but I promise you the end result will look good. And before that happened, the IDF didn't do any military operations in Gaza. I'm referring to the prior days. And this attack wasn't a defense attack. It wasn't some kind of a reaction to a prior attack. It was just a day they decided that they are going to kill as many people as they can. Again, they didn't murder only Jews. They also murdered foreign workers from Thailand and Bedouins and Israeli Arabs from Israel. I don't want to address really all the horrible things that they did because it's really, really, really graphic and it's horrible. I guess a lot of people don't want to believe that these are the things that they did, just like in the Holocaust, because it is so horrible. And you as a human being won't even imagine that another human being can do such a thing. But this is what they did. And if you are here and saying, well, there's no proof, how can I believe you if there are no proof? Let me ask you a question. If your sister came to you and would say that she was raped, would you ask her for proof? But you know what, because you really don't want to believe, you can just go on TikTok or on Instagram and see all the proof you need to see. It's all out there and you can see basically anything they did. And they also are shooting rockets at Israel non-stop from the very first day. That's why I had to stop filming the video. And it doesn't matter what you say, nothing in the world is justifying crossing a border, which is, first of all, illegal. Second of all, murdering 1,400 people and counting in the most horrendous ways. It's not like they just shot at everyone. They burned people alive. They cut them and let them bleed to death. Nothing you would say would justify that. Now let's address most of the things I see online, on TikTok, on Instagram, and just make you understand the situation. First of all, let's talk about the difference between murdering and killing. The difference between murdering and killing is that murdering is doing the same act as killing, but with a very, very clear intention of killing a person because of a specific reason, which is clearly what Hamas did on October 7th. And it's not my opinion, it's not the Israeli government opinion, it's not the IDF's opinion. We literally found evidence and papers that were written before this terror attack on these terrorists. So it's not something we can argue about. Another question and something I want to address is that Israel is murdering kids in Gaza. So let's go back to the prior point, the difference between killing and murdering. Israel's intention is to have a situation when the terror organization Hamas doesn't exist anymore. And if they are using kids and elderly and any innocent civilian from Gaza to stand where rockets are being shot from and from military bases to the point where Israel is fighting back and wanting to destroy these terror infrastructures, then people are getting hurt. But there is the difference between murdering and killing, because when Hamas is doing this on purpose, he is murdering the civilians in Gaza, and people are dying because of Hamas. Now, there is another very, very silly comment I see quite a lot, which is that the Zionists are white people, are privileged people that came from Europe. Let me tell you that my grandma is from Morocco and my grandpa is from Turkey, and my fiance's father was born in Morocco, and we are still all Jewish. So I don't see how Zionists are all white privileged people. Another thing I want to address is that thing that I see a lot of people write, that the Palestinians let us into this country. But now let me tell you, Palestinians as a nation has never any control of this part of land, and so they wouldn't have the possibility to let anything happen. All right, they weren't in control. They didn't have a say in anything that was going on here. If we could say thank you to someone, it's the Brits, and very much not the Palestinians. Another point I want to mention is that Palestinians were people that lived in this region before it was Israel. That means Arabs, Muslims, Arabs that are Christian, they were some here in Israel, and also Jewish people that lived in this region, in this country. So I don't really understand what is the Palestinian people, who are the Palestinian people, if some of them are actually Christian Arabs and Jewish people who lived here. Another point that I want to address in this conflict is that the Palestinian people had never had control over this land. And if they did, I would like some information about in what year they had control over this land, who was the prime minister or some prime ministers, who was, the parliament members, who was the president. I just want to know these things. So if you have this information, please send it to me. But you wouldn't find it. There are countless of comments and countless of non-factual things that people write on Instagram or on TikTok, and I just cannot address everything because most of the things that is written there is just not true. So if you do have something very, very factual and that you want to comment, that you want me to address, you are more than welcome to write it here down below. And if you don't have anything smart to say, then you can still comment, but I won't bother to look at your comment because I only interact with intellectual people who has their facts. And before you ask, no, I do not support killing innocent people. I do not want all Arab Muslims wiped out of Israel. And if you would ask a Palestinian the same question, he will probably answer very differently. This wasn't my intention to make this channel about this conflict, and this is one of the first videos on this channel, but my goal is to educate people and to show them the truth. And again, if you think that something that I say is not true, then you are more than welcome to comment. But again, if your comment is not written well, is not very intelligent, and is not based on facts, then I won't answer. I hope this war will end soon and I can make my regular videos that I plan to make, because there are a lot of videos I want to make just about life and living a certain way and education and time management, and so many videos just about regular things in life, and I hope I can do it soon.